Hi, this is Rick Gagowski. Recently, I had a phone call from someone I know that saw a post of mine on Facebook. The post struck a nerve, and he was commenting on the cost of his coverage for both he and his wife. The call bothered me, and I felt that I needed to dispel some of the anxiety that is present in the Medicare world of insurance, anxiety that could potentially cost you money. First off, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, this does not really apply to you. However, it is good information to know. This is directed to those of us with Medicare's Part A and B, Part D, the drug plan, and a Medicare supplemental policy, commonly called Medigap insurance. What I'm going to cover is a common misconception regarding coverage and what you can do about it. The call was from a friend of mine who is in his mid-70s and his wife just a tad bit older. Like I said, they called in response to one of my Facebook posts, and their rates have just gotten to the point where it flat out hurts. Our friendship dates back to the days of my racing motocross, which was in the 70s, and he and I would attend events together. Like most people, rates creep up over the years, and if you're on a fixed income, hello, most of America, it can become a big portion of your monthly budget. The old saying that you can't get blood out of a turnip is true, and the option of going without insurance is not viable. I offered to meet and discuss how I could help, and that I would call them to set a time and day. During that call, their interest level was high, knowing that they were spending over $700 a month for their supplemental policies for the two of them. Later, when I spoke with them to set the appointment, they pushed back saying, "We are not going to change anything now because we like our doctors and we just don't want the hassle of change and just want to stay the way we are." I get that. When I go to Walmart and I get hit up with those pesky salespeople trying to sell you their internet and cable TV packages, I immediately shut them down. Their first response is, "Oh, you don't want to save any money?" Well, that couldn't be any further from the truth for me and my wife, but we don't want the hassle of change. We're comfortable with the technology we have, and we don't want to learn a new interface to watch TV. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Back to insurance. At that point, I wasn't going to browbeat them like the salespeople at Walmart. I did mention a couple of things, and our conversation ended with, "Rick, I have your number. Let me think about this for a while and call you if we decide different." Oh boy. I hope they do, but that got me thinking that there may be others out there with the same concern, and I want to set their minds at ease. Medicare is a PPO or preferred provider option, meaning you can go to any doctor without needing a referral. Keep in mind, not all doctors accept Medicare assignment. However, those that don't are far and few. The supplemental policy you have today with the company you've been with for years can be replaced with the same type of policy with another company, and other than the change in premium, your coverage does not change. You have the same doctors, the same healthcare facilities as you did before. The only thing that changes is the insurance card in your wallet and the premium amount you pay each month. It's like car insurance. You change to save money, but you can still drive the same car. It may not be the best example, but you get my intent. If you make a parallel change from one plan F to another plan F, nothing changes. If you make a parallel change from one plan G to another plan G, nothing changes. Nothing changes except the insurance card and your premium amount. Why would you change? Save money. Why wouldn't you change? That's a very good question because I don't see why you wouldn't. You keep your doctors and life goes on. Okay, there are a few exceptions. When you apply for a new policy, you have to go through underwriting by answering medical questions. Based on those questions, you will either be approved for coverage or not. Let me give you a personal example. I'm in my early 70s, very physically active. I exercise. I walk 2 to 3 miles a day with the dog. I play pickleball at a high level as much as I can. I am a pickleball junkie. In September of 2025, I had a heart procedure. Today, I cannot pass that underwriting questions because of that. I said today. However, some companies will accept me 12 months after a procedure like this, and other companies 24 months after. Bottom line, I have to wait until that period of time lapses, and then I can rewrite my policy with another company and save money on my premium. Chronic conditions are looked at more carefully, but it all depends on your overall health. I have written people who have had some form of cancer in the past, and they've been approved. I rewrote a gentleman that lost vision in both eyes, and he was approved. As an independent agent, I have the luxury of shopping multiple companies to find the best coverage for my customers. It's interesting how rates vary amongst companies. For example, a 75-year-old male non-smoker, zip code 75068, out of the 10 companies I work with, rates start at $162.46 a month to $394. Why the range? Some companies have larger overhead costs and they may have liberal underwriting guidelines, and they may also accept more risk. That all affects the premium. The misconception is you do not need to fear changing your supplemental coverage if you are worried about change. Other than the premium change and the insurance card you carry, everything else stays the same. What you can do about it is simple. Give it a shot. Reapply for coverage. Worst case, you don't qualify for coverage. Best case, you do qualify coverage, and the difference in the premium could save you a chunk of change. If you're a customer of mine and I haven't called you, contact me. If you're not a customer of mine, I will be more than happy to help you, give you numbers and assess your ability to qualify for a replacement policy. My attitude has always been this: there are no dumb questions when it comes to Medicare coverage. If you are pleased and comfortable with what I tell you, I'd love to have you for a customer and earn your business and trust. More importantly, I want you to be aware of what you can do to save some money. Thank you.